A better Nigeria, is it a myth or do we keep hoping?
Nigeria is a highly religious country. How come corruption thrives?
Why is adoption not encouraged in Nigeria? Is there a future for the Nigerian youth?
Being rich and famous, is that the only reason for being an artist?
What makes a great nation? Is it the leaders? What about the people?
This is Answers with Dr. Red.
Good evening and welcome to Answers with Dr. Reggie, where critical life issues are clarified. My name is Lois. Last week we talked about the benefits of failure. We were able to establish the fact that instead of seeing failure as a bad thing, we should engage with it as a lesson and see it as a badge of honor. And if you missed out on the last episode, you could check out our website at answerswithdrreggie.com. Joseph and Agnes will be my anchor for today, and of course, the Chief Resource Person of the Center of Transmissional Leadership, CTL Jos, Dr. Reggie. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Lois. Good to see you.
Yes,
Thank you. You are pronouncing your name like you.
I want to give it more
oomph.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so last week we talked about the benefits of failure, and today we'll be talking about handling success. And we believe as young people, we need to understand success and how to handle it so that it doesn't destroy us. So, sir, straight to the point, what is success?
That's a very difficult thing to sort of define. Although I'm getting away from definition a bit, I'll be more kind of descriptive. Now, when you say success, it basically, there is an assumption that there was something you set out to, you set a goal.
Yeah.
And success is when you realize the goal. But again, goal is not just a destination. Goal are just, I'm looking for the best way to describe it. They are like stations. Maybe I'm using like a journey now. They're like stations on a journey. So success is not really like a destination. It's an ongoing process. Because that straight away tells you that success is not a place you arrive at, right? And success destroys when it becomes a place you arrive at. And it becomes like a destination where okay, I'm there.
Yeah.
You can't be there. I don't know who made that statement years ago that really stuck with me, that the road to success is always under construction. So if you really know what success is, it's a place you never arrive at. At every stage of success, it creates another beginning. It creates another beginning for as long as you are still alive. So success is just that continuous, realization of dreams. Is, that for every point you arrive at in that journey, it creates the beginning of another. Yeah. So that's the way I will sort of describe it. It's a continuous realization of set goals and dreams that you dream.
And sometimes it's like dynamic.
That's the point. It's very dynamic. It's not eureka. It's not, it's not like you are there and you do nothing again, right? It's a continuous experience that you build as you live your life. So when I talk about goal setting, it's not something you start when you are age 0 and you think you get to 70 and that's it. I've listened to retirees who say that they are learning new things.
Yeah.
That's exactly the point. But a lot of people get carried away, especially for young Africans. It's as if they never if what you see as success is what you never dreamt of, it's likely going to kill you. You know, that,
Okay.
yeah, it's, you know, you kind of, oh. And I've had it in some, you know, people singing it, that I never expect that it would be this way. That's a confused person. You know, it must never be like a surprise. Right? It must never be like a surprise. I've had it, maybe even some church people. I don't know how they sing the song. I didn't know it was going to be this way.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very tragic song. It's very, very tragic, because every human being needs to have a bit of a positive disposition towards life. You know, and I'm talking now, you know, especially for Africans. You know, life, maybe Joseph will have had me say this in some of the places that we've gone to, maybe give seminars. Life shouldn't start with problems. It should start with admiration. You know, you should be so, you know, life is beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? It's exciting. But for us as Africans, and I'm shocked at young people, they approach life from a standpoint of problems. But life should be approached with a sense of excitement. So like we said last week, when you approach life with a sense of excitement, failure becomes another opportunity for an experiment.
Yeah.
Wow, so what's going to come out of this now? You know, I just had this setback.
Yeah.
You know, so this is good. How do we walk through this?
Okay.
That's it.
All right, sir. From what you've been able to say, it feels like success is a continuous, long-term stuff.
Yeah.
So what would I call a scenario where maybe I set a goal and I'm able to work towards it and I'm able to reach it and get it?
Yeah.
What would I call that?
Well, it's a realization of a dream. You know,
Okay.
the success word has become very scary. It's become very, very scary. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just talking in terms of people's experiences because I want to help. You know, when they say the man has made it, that's true. But what are we really saying? It's as if the guy has gotten stuck. You know, because I've always said that, you know, let's use what excites young people the most, money. That the man you consider to be very rich financially, but monetarily, the guy needs money more than you. The guy is not resting. Because the more success you have, you know, the more you need to do to continue to maintain it. Because getting to the top is easier
And sustaining.
than staying there. Yeah, than staying there. Because to fall, have you heard of the phrase free fall?
Yeah.
It's so fast.
Then, yeah.
It's so fast.
And it's going to be more painful.
And it's going to be more painful because there's a particular, you know, disease in life that has no cure. You guys have heard me say that. It's called regret. There's no cure. So how do you live a life where you are not fighting that you will not have an experience of regret? Because that's not fighting. Not to have regret is worse than regret itself. You know, because you are fighting it because you are expecting it might come. So your life becomes reactionary and not proactionary. So it's very, you know, one of my professors in school said that the most painful, you know, point in life is to, he just left, you know, is to remember the future.
Okay.
The most painful state of life is to remember the future. I'll leave it for you guys to continue to process.
Yes.
You know, so remember the future, because if you are remembering the future, that means you're not creating it. That's like an unrealized dream. So the most painful state of being is to remember the future. Please don't put it on Instagram because you don't understand it yet. Don't put it on Facebook. You don't understand it yet. Process it. Think, reflect. If you are remembering the future, it basically means that there was a dream you had, which you believe is now past, that you have not realized.
Okay.
Okay, this is Answers with Dr. Reggie.
Yes.
I'll clarify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the silence because that means you guys are processing it. You know,
Okay.
you're processing. Yeah.
So you said something last week about millennials, the fact that we like to plan, and at the end of the day, we just, we actually end up not doing anything
Yeah.
because of fear
Yeah.
of failure.
Yeah.
Now, is there flipping the coin? Is there anything like fear of success?
Good one. Yeah. That yes, success might become fearful. Only now the way it's coming to me now is that only if you just read the story of somebody who was once successful and is no longer, somebody who tasted life and and the current state of that person, it's not something you really desire. Yeah. And then you might be scared that, I don't really want to. This is somebody who was once there and is no longer there and is just wallowing in the pit of regret. So to that extent, success might bring a bit of fear that when I get there, will I be able to handle it? And that's why we're discussing this. That when I get there, will I be able to, handle it? And it's real. A lot of people don't handle, well-being well. They don't handle it well. I'm trying to avoid the word success as much as possible. They don't handle well-being well, and they work so hard to get there. And you know what? It's a poverty of mind mentality. When good things excite you, that you lose your mind. Yeah. Fame makes you lose your mind. Money makes you lose your mind. And you suddenly just forget. That's why some people just come, it's just a blast. It just comes and they go. They were there in one moment. In another moment, they're gone. And it's not that they are dead. They're still here, but they're just, a total opposite of. I think I was watching a YouTube video of, I think it was maybe our footballers in the history of our country, that they are no longer, they've just disappeared. I don't want to mention their names because there's still hope if they are still living. So it's that they are no longer there. And these are guys who made money, right? Yeah. But they are now very poor. They are maybe living, if it's abroad, they said they are living on welfare. But in Nigeria, you can't live on welfare. You are gone. Sure. There's no. Yeah, so
can we say that they were not able to handle their success well?
Absolutely. Yeah, maybe they didn't make the good investment. They didn't. I was sharing with a young man who has a dream of playing professional soccer. And I was telling him about an academy in the UK that, in fact, is Southampton Football Academy. I think it's the best. And for those who follow football, they know that they've produced amazing footballers. Van Dijk, Gareth Bale, Theo Walcott, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. You can go on and on and on of that. When you get to that academy, the first thing you learn to do is how to keep your socks clean.
Basics.
How to worship. Respect for elders.
Wow.
Yeah. Footballers. Respect for elders. I've told the story of a Nigerian footballer here before, Shola Ameobi, that if Shola goes to play and gets a yellow card, when he gets home, he's going to get punished. He's going to get punished. And what they tell them in this academy is that football can fail because football career is cruel. You can be so good and you never get to play because maybe injury or something, and you're gone. Yeah. Because it's a game, it's a career that depends on just two aspects of your life, two legs. Once you lose it, that's the end. But they said football, not being able to play football shouldn't end your life. If football fails, you should still be able to have a life. So they train them on a wide range of things, not just how to dribble. So that's the point, that we are the most valuable assets, the most valuable investable capital is us, right? Yeah, the human capital. So it's not whether you can sing, whether you can play soccer, whether you have a gift of painting or writing or whatever. You are more valuable than all of that. Because you are the one that carries the gift to write, the gift to paint, the gift to sing, the gift to play soccer. So that's the thing. And in that there are billion, trillion, and one other things to pull out of that which is dominant. Yeah.
So when we were growing up, we used to, and when we were in school, before an exam, when you're giving a script, at the end of the script, you just see a short phrase, good luck. Okay, so there's this narrative that says that success is a thing of luck. So what role does luck have to play? What is the relationship with luck?
Luck is a myth. It doesn't exist.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a myth. Even if your name is Good Luck, because there's no bad luck, there's no good luck. Whatever we become in life is as a result of an intentional decision, right? To, because if there's no input, there's no output. That's why a lot of people say life is not fair. Life is so fair. Because fair means everybody don't get the same thing. It's unfair when everybody gets the same thing. So if luck is the way I believe a lot of people think about it, that it just happened. Bam. Chance. Exactly. You see, life is not a game of chance. Life is a game of choice. And we've seen that in Nigeria many times. I wrote a blog at a time during one of our elections that it's as if we are voting for chance. That it might just happen. And that's what we've done. We are always taking a chance. You see, the chance in this sense is not the adventure. Adventure can be a chance thing, but chance is just without considering any kind of facts, no kind of verifiable, empirical, or whatever kind of thinking that's gone into it. You just believe. And our environment right now is become, so toxic because of what most churches do. They promote chance. Yeah, they kind of, advocate chance. They package chance as something that is valuable. So luck is not, it doesn't exist. There's no such thing as luck. If somebody arrives at a particular point, I was telling this young aspiring footballer that somebody like Roger Federer, that plays tennis. I said Roger Federer is arguably the greatest person that ever played tennis. For me, although I'm not his fan, I'm a Nadal fan. But if you look at number one, when he started playing, he was already a teenager. That is unprecedented. Yeah. Because the rule in tennis is that if you don't start playing at 5, you might never become a world champion. But he started playing as a teenager. But I was telling this young man that this guy trains 8 hours a day.
Wow.
8 solid hours every single day.
Wow.
So if this guy plays a 5-hour grueling match, he just start. I mean, for us like Rafael Nadal does more than that. Because he believes he's not as skillful as Federer.
Yeah.
So he puts in. So do you call that luck? Do you call that luck? There's no luck in life.
Sometimes people who succeed, they don't see it as luck.
Oh, they will never, because that's not the experience.
Yeah, exactly. They might say it so that because it's what people are expecting, but for others they will say this person is lucky. And then this luck thing is rooted into our culture today. Yeah. This is why a lot of young people will go do sport betting. And
I learned they are trying to ban it in Ghana.
Okay.
I read the news yesterday, or was it this morning? Yeah, this morning, that the president of Ghana is actually planning to ban sports betting. Yeah, because that was an assault, on the psyche of this nation. It started maybe about 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And right now, I think one of the betting houses that they're sponsoring big time programs on telly. That tells you how much they are now worth.
Yeah.
So that's a tragedy, because I've said it before that you can't find anybody on the Forbes list of billionaires who became a billionaire by betting. You know, but you might be able to find somebody there who started a betting business that became a billionaire, but not somebody who bet.
Yeah.
Because the guy who started the business is not betting.
Sure.
Right? He's only leveraging on people's stupidity, you know, and he's using people's stupidity to make money. So if I'm all for, you know, removing that kind of an economic enterprise from our experiences. So it's betting. Betting is not even luck. Somebody is controlling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody is controlling it. Yeah. It's not a game of chance. Somebody is controlling it. You know, somebody is controlling it. You know, they determine when you know, I was referencing it yesterday in one of the places where I went to speak. And the guy said, oh, what we used to call pool.
Yes.
In our days.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very sad, because people are just looking at it as an economic activity. But what it does to the mind, because it's what is now producing this whole narrative of luck.
Yeah.
It's not luck, it's stupidity. You know, because life doesn't agree with being a game of chance. You are not taking your next breath by chance. Right? Yeah. That's why I'm using life. You are not taking your next breath by chance. It's a whole process within your body that produced that heartbeat.
Yeah.
So it's not a game of chance. If it's a game of chance, right, you know, we can, you know, it's not chance. It's a whole activity. And if that activity goes wrong, if you don't take the next breath, we'll be preparing for a funeral.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not good on it's very unfair. I don't know if you guys saw the movie Concussion. That was acted by Will Smith. It's a story around a Nigerian medical doctor and all those kind of things. If you watch that movie, you focus on the movie. Basically shows the wickedness of men.
Yeah.
The wickedness of men, because that game in America was destroying lives, giving them this kind of a medical syndrome that doesn't have any, you know. And
people didn't even
understand it. But when this guy did the research and came up with the name for the disease, but there's this power behind that said, do you know how much you want to stop the way they play the game, or you even thinking of stopping the game, scrapping this game?
Like it's rooted in the culture of the
it's
people.
Rooted in the culture of the people, but the people there don't even care what it does to human beings.
Yeah.
The way the people they celebrate dies because of the way, you know, he did the very simple way, putting this stuff inside the bottle, that the brain doesn't connect to anything in the skull. It just stays in the fluid. So if you keep hitting it, after a while, I don't know, I'm not a medical person, but that is how wicked, because a lot of people are benefiting from that.
Yeah.
And in this life, the way it is in the jungle is that your bad is my good. That's what people call luck. Your bad, it has to be bad for you for it to be good for me. But that's not the way life should be. So luck, I've taken time to answer that question because a lot of people now are buying into this betting, this kind of luck for success.
You're welcome back from the musical break. That song was by Praise. I think Joseph has something to say about the song.
Yeah, Rich and Famous by Praise. And so the reason why I had to bring that song up is because of the content of the song. And, you know, the art of a society reflects the lifestyle of the society.
Absolutely.
So, and these are people, young people follow a lot. So the guy was saying he wants to be rich and famous, and he will be on Forbes. Or Forbes, he will be on the cover page of Forbes magazine and all. And then that all the other faces will know who he is because he'll be a superstar. And now the reason why I brought that up, to say, is success about money? being rich and famous, but there's more to it.
Yeah, you know, we even have a line like that in our intro.
Yeah.
You know, but simply put, there is no one on Forbes list where he wants to be that ever set out to be on Forbes list.
Oh.
It was never their intention. They didn't set out that the reason why I want to go into business or my desire in life is to be on Forbes list. None of them. If you listen to their story, you know, that wasn't the intention. And many of them, you know, again, you know, I really like using soccer a lot, football. Footballers tell you that they really don't check the league table.
Wow.
Right? They don't even listen to sports news. They're just thinking of the next match. You know? So there's no one. How can you make being rich and famous your mission in life? In fact, there's a quote by Bill Gates. He said that the guarantee you will never have money is that you constantly think about it.
Wow.
Yeah. Guaranteed that you will never have money is that you constantly think about money. But if you constantly think about something you want to do to better the lives of people, money is a natural consequence of that. That's from Bill Gates. So, that kind of statement is from, I'm sorry, but it's from an African poverty, you know, begging, wishing, luck kind of. Because you have not told me how you want to get to Forbes. Unknown to you. Even the magazine. Right? Even the magazine is somebody's idea. Somebody saw an opportunity. There are a lot of rich people. Let me just write about them. Forbes magazine is a journalistic, it's me, you know. So, somebody thought about it. Okay, let me just write stories about rich people.
Yeah.
And you don't buy Forbes magazine the way you buy Daily Times or... Yeah. Because he knows that people want to learn about this, you know, especially deceived people. They want to come and read about, those people who... There was a time I went to I did a tour of Emirates Stadium. And they showed me one seat in the stadium. And they said that seat, I think, is about maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I don't know, £10,000 a season. The ticket to sit there. Right? It's about £10,000 for a season. Somebody will go and work, right? And pay, and say you have to pay 3 seasons upfront.
Wow.
Before you can get it. You know? Now, that's somebody just paying to service his passion. But do you know how much Lionel Messi earns in a week? It's about €1 million. Right? But somebody is that guy that's paying.
Yeah.
The person paying Lionel Messi is not as rich as him.
That's true.
That's the point. So, you see, Africans, we need to do a rethink. You can't make being on Forbes your mission. You can't make rich and famous your goal in life. Right? Because even if you get 1 billion, if that's your goal, you get 1 billion, having done something, let's even assume. The day you hear somebody has 10 billion, you now start another race.
Yeah.
That's the point. You see, that guy is saying that because he has heard about people being on Forbes, people being rich and famous. Somebody created that. What I always want people to do is that I want to create something too. I just don't want to do whatever other person is doing.
True.
Yeah. Let me also think about, the best person to compete with in life is yourself. It's yourself. And that's why I say that you is, when you are thinking right, it's impossible to fail in the final analysis. I'm talking about that regret. It's impossible. Yeah. It is just impossible. The human being is built, for significance, for fulfillment. So there's so much that can come out of that device called human. I'm sorry, I'm using device to describe a human being, but that's just it. It's I'm worried for a lot of young Nigerians that I see around, because their opinion about life, the way they just want to the way they focus on the destination without looking at the journey, it's just, it's just scary. And like I always tell a lot of them, and those who are listening to me, that one day you discover you are 50 and you've done nothing.
Yeah.
You've done nothing.
And then that incurable disease.
That incurable disease we just
regret,
settle. Yeah. Regret. Yeah. How I wish.
Okay. So we mentioned that success is continuous,
Yeah,
right?
it's continuous.
Yes. But at what point can we call someone a success?
I don't think we should call anybody a success. But the person is still on the way.
Okay.
What difference am I making in my world? Yeah. What benefit am I to others? That would be success for me. That would be, that ongoing process. And I don't want our focus to be on when are we going to, okay, who is a successful person? Because it's relative. It's relative. I was listening to a song just before I got here. It's from a singer called Rita Springer. And I remember the first time I played that song, and one of my staff was in the car with me. This is an American singing. And he was singing about their home, 7 siblings, call them, 7 wide-eyed that the parents had to feed, the way chicken run around. And this guy was asking me, so Americans live like this? I said, village is an English word. Village is an English word. So Americans live like this. They live, their dogs are around. I said village. Strain dog is an English word, is an English phrase. So if you think village is a, and it's don't let us make this conversation like what is the portrait of a rich person or if a successful person. It will be difficult to paint. Right? Because somebody might just have one house, be able to send the kids to school, is living on retirement. He will tell you, honestly, I don't want any other thing. Yeah. There was time, I said it somewhere, I said, if this is the way I am, till I leave this earth, I think I'm okay. But the truth is, this is not going to be the way I'm going to be because I keep walking.
Yeah.
But the point is, at every stage of life, right? That's where my focus is. If I focus on what I'm doing, if my eye is on the ball, right, at every point in time, progress is a natural consequence, right? I can't be planning for progress. I must be working to progress. I must be getting better and better and better in that which I do. Because of what I do, I have to think. I need to make out time for reflection. I have to make out time for meditation. I have to do conscious thinking. I have to keep my eyes open everywhere I'm going and learn. The way a mother leads the child going to school in the morning is talking to me. A tree that grows in my compound is talking to me. So that's the way, because I want to be resourceful. I want to be resourceful. I want to be smart. I want to be able to think on my feet. I can't walk without having presence of mind. Everything in life should speak to me. Because that's my profession, right? That's my vocation. That's what I do. Right? I'm a culture creator. I'm a contrarian. So those kind of things, everything, I'm a provocateur, right? So that's, I must always be resourceful. And if that's the way I live my life, I will always progress.
Okay, so you just made reference to music. I was watching the documentary of Bob Marley, and the interviewer asked him, he said, is he rich? And Bob Marley paused for a while and asked, I said, when you say rich, what do you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, and he said, like having a lot of money, having millions of dollars. And Bob Marley said, is that a definition of being rich? He said, that's not mine. What he said was, life is rich. His riches is life.
That's right.
And, like you always say that we as young people, especially Africans, we need to come to the realization of seeing life differently than we're seeing it now, and become proactive about life instead of being reactive and being intentional. Now, these were people who lived so many years ago that information was little.
It was very expensive even
Yes.
to access it, yeah.
And then there was debt. So how will you advise us to use every experience as we should be reflective, like
Yeah,
you said.
there's a practice, there's a particular way of life that has gone out of fashion with the young people. There's no more thinking. Your generation don't think. Why? There's so many things that distract.
So by thinking, what do you mean?
They don't make out time to, he used the word reflect. You see, where I grew up, when you misbehave, what my mom was, the interpretation of your misbehavior is that you don't think. That the only reason people misbehave is that, you see, I don't know how to, there's times your English fails you to communicate an African kind of way of delivering a particular thought. So thinking is not memorize or something. It's you being able to pause, or not even pause, and having an attitude where you always want to see, just like this program. The whole idea about this program, we say we want to provide clarity on issues of life. That comes out of some thinking. So we need to have a practice, a way of life where we always want to, there's a seeking for understanding. Your generation always asks what. They hardly ask why. They ask how. You see, the foundation of what and how is why. Because why is what you are going to use to measure outcome. Why is what is going to define whether what is on the right road, whether the how, is on the right road. So why is what we speak at the end, right? If I leave my office and I'm coming to the studio is why I'm leaving my office. If I arrive in Mr. Biggs, right? If I didn't ask myself why I left my office, Mr. Biggs would be right. Meanwhile, that's not where I'm going.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I mean by thinking. That this your action. It was not well thought out. You didn't look at the repercussions, the consequences, and all those kind of things of this thing before you. They say that there are a lot of people who talk and engage mind later.
Whoa.
Yeah. They say their mouth is faster than their mind. And those are the kind of people that they live a life of regret. I was giving an example somewhere that if the law enforcement agent arrests you, the first thing they caution you is be careful what you say. Because it's going to be taken against you. That mindset is telling you always think before you talk. But this is a generation where everybody wants to be heard. Everybody has become a media guru. You have a Facebook page, you have an Instagram, a Twitter handle. Nobody is hearing anybody. We're not thinking, we just want to be heard. I belong to many WhatsApp groups, right? They are the most vital informations that get lost. Maybe the Secretary of the Union or somebody posts a particular notice. Before you read it, thousands of forward messages have gone. He's pushed it up and it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. So that's the point. Everybody is talking. It's like what I call a cacophony. It's just mixed, discordant sounds that doesn't make any kind of sense. And people just get into that frenzy. And that's the reason why this generation, you see now that with all the money around, there's a lot of things that can, suicide is on the rise, depression is on the rise, mental illness, these are things, before if you see a mentally deranged person, right? By their outlook, this is a madman. But now you see a lot of mad people who are well dressed, they wear designer shirts. They are mad. So that's the reason. That's the reason why all these things are happening. Because people no longer, have the time to think, to reflect, to ask why. We don't value small. We don't value slow. Everything has to be fast. That's what I mean by thinking. Right? Yeah. So it's I just wish and hope that this program will make people slow down and let them just, where am I? You know, where am I? How did I get here? Yeah. Because other people are where they shouldn't be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let me get to this question before we go on a commercial break. So talking about how do I put it now? Okay, I don't want to start using success.
I hope I've not
success.
Not depressed you guys. You guys are just kind of slow now. It's good. You're thinking. Yeah.
Yes, and then okay.
You can use success. We know exactly what we're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about success, right? We're trying to define it. Yeah.
Okay. I want to know how individuals, especially young people like us, should handle, let's say, some level of achievement.
Yeah.
Some level of achievement.
Yeah.
Say, okay, I set out to achieve something. I was like, okay,
And then it becomes a reality.
Yes, and then finally, after working hard and all, it's right in front of me, and it's something huge, and it's something that means a lot to me. So how am I supposed to handle that kind of feeling?
Simple. If this can happen, more can. Right? More can happen. And if I want to do more, then maybe I do it. Maybe I need to do with people. You see, there's only one place where there's no progress. It's in the cemetery. Right? Keep moving. If this can happen, it's just an indication that more can happen. You see, contentment is not being complacent. Right? Contentment is you being able to overcome the reason why there's poverty in the world, which is greed. Right? Yeah. So, so I can do this. That means I can do more. I can do more. And you have to always know that whatever you achieve in life is meant to be given away. It's meant to benefit others. Let's even look at it. The wealthiest people in the world is because of the benefit they've allowed themselves to become beneficial to others. Right? There's somebody called Shaw microphone. Let's say, whatever you do in life, right? If you are the only one that benefits, you have no use, right? So you're saying, okay, so what can I do to actually add value to humanity? If that's your drift, the way you think about life, that's why Bob Marley will say that kind of a thing. Because he reflects. If life goes on as normal, as a young boy growing up in the slum of Kingston, Jamaica, that by dint of hard work and being able to, he was called out of his village. He wasn't looking for anything. The fame of his music just spread and somebody saw I still saw the documentary where the first time they took his music to Europe. He couldn't believe it was his music. The guy will punch a button on the mixer and the bass will come out cleaner. He was looking, he was a village boy that just came to town. So, but this guy kept working. You see, most of these guys don't even know their bank balance.
Yeah.
It's not even what they're thinking about. But he's been able to, you see, people like Bob Marley, those who don't know art, they say he did music. Bob Marley gave us a way of thinking.
Yeah.
He gave us a way of thinking. He's a musician I love. I have tons of his music in my library. So it's how do you handle it? That's not the end. This is the beginning of another phase. This is just the foundation for another phase. That's how to handle it. The moment if you have $1 billion and you start spending it, it will finish.
You go back
to square one. Yeah.
Okay, sir. I want to ask this last one. Is it okay for people to post their achievements online? Nowadays, we have social media everywhere, Twitter, all of that, Facebook, WhatsApp.
If you post your achievement, right, because somebody did, it's wrong. Because you don't know why the other person posted it. the person that's posting his achievement online, that might be what he wants to leverage on to go to higher heights. Right? So you don't know why the other person posts that thing online. It might be a marketing thing, but you two want to show, okay. So don't do follow. You go and listen to fella.
Yeah.
Right? Don't do follow. You don't know why the other person posted his achievement or her achievement online. And for me, as an African, as somebody who was raised by very conservative parents, it's not when things are working for you. They said that if there's a proverb where I grew up, they said that if the yam you cook is very good, you say you eat it, covering it. No selfishness. Right?
Sure.
My daughter told me something when she passed her professional exams. And she said they have a culture in their bank. When you pass your professional exams, you don't celebrate because a lot of your mates failed. You don't celebrate because a lot of your other colleagues that wrote the exams didn't pass. So you have to be sensitive to them. And this is a generation that loves celebration. Right? Love celebration. I was somewhere yesterday and I was, giving kudos to a friend of mine who said he won't celebrate his 60th birthday because there's a girl, who is allegedly in captivity. But that is so wonderful. Because you don't live on earth alone. Right? It's bright here now. In some other parts of the world, it's night. Yeah. We have to always be safe. So the way, if you're going to summarize this episode, the way to manage success is to know that what has come to you, other people need it. Other people should benefit from what I have achieved. Because we really live for others. We don't live for ourselves. And that's the secret of peace.
Right. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
I was about to ask a question in that line. Most people believe that, or especially young people, they celebrate other people's failure. Not even if, let's say, in a classroom, they are not. Maybe let's say they are just average, but because other people failed,
they are happy.
Yes. So instead of it's like more. It's more of competition. So they are celebrating other people's failure, not
their own success.
Yes.
And it looks like someone's failure is making your shining one additional color.
Yeah, you are not that tall. You are just standing on the desk.
Yeah, like
person standing on the
competition of drugs.
You are not tall.
Yeah.
So again, that's an orientation. That's tied to upbringing. That your focus is never on yourself but on others. So it's not a good way to live, because like I said, the person to compete with is you. Because in that class, I remember, my father was a teacher. That is marks obtained, marks obtainable. Right? You don't rejoice on marks obtained. You compare your marks obtained with the marks obtainable. There's 100 on offer.
Yeah.
And then you got 20. Everybody in the class got 2. And then you are happy. You are just the captain of idiots. You are the boss. In fact, you are the chief idiot in that class. So because you shouldn't be measuring yourself. There was a time I said on this program that we were comparing the current President Buhari with Jonathan to show us how good he is. Meanwhile, we voted Jonathan out.
Yeah.
What we rejected, right, becomes our standard to measure what we want. Is that not, I don't want to
call idiot.
Yeah. So just we always somebody forgot his box, his luggage in the airport. The staff saw it and took it, sent it to the owner, and they said the person must get an award. I said, he's doing his work.
Yeah.
And I said, but A lot of people in Nigeria won't do that. Say, what is our standard? A lot of my friends fought me because we discussed it on our platform. I said, the guy is doing his job. A policeman that he got on an accident scene saw 5 million naira cash. The owner is dead. And you carry it, you put it, you go and display it. Or you look for maybe the family and you give them, and you are clapping for. That's what you're supposed to have done. He said, but others will have carried away. Those others who will have carried away has become our standard. That is it. It's a way of life that we Nigerians, that's why you celebrate a governor that pays salary.
Yeah.
Because you are using those who don't pay as the benchmark.
Yeah.
It's something we have to change. Right? It's something we have to change. It starts from that young person who got 20 and is happy because the others in the class got 5. So his 20 is now of value. But you failed. You are just the chief of failures.
And then if the person should compare with other people who were successful, he will just feel...
He will now go down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And they say in my village that you will think your father's farm is the biggest until you get to the farm of somebody else's father.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You think your father's farm is the biggest. That's all you see every day. Yeah. When you see another man's farm, what? Ours is just a drop in the ocean. That's it. That's it. It's I just wish and hope that this program will help people out there. And because Nigerians, what we need is we need a mind restructured. Our minds need to be restructured. Our approach to life is warped. It's so warped. And you guys make up 65% of those those kind of people, yeah. Are you happy? Yeah, be positive. Yeah. Correction is better than praise.
Sure.
Yeah. Sorry, Lois. You're looking like...
Really, sir, I don't know. Yeah. A whole lot of things that we need to really adjust to. And okay, it's been an exciting time on today's episode of Answers with Dr. Reju, and I'm convinced that we were able to educate you on handling success. But this is where we have to say goodbye. So you can reach us on our social media handles. For Facebook, it's Facebook at Dr. Reju Answers, or our website at answerswithdrreju.com. Our Twitter handle remains Twitter at AWDR_JOS. Don't forget that Answers with Dr. Reju airs every Thursday by 3 p.m. on Patris Radio. Do well to download our app at Play Store. Remember, a repeat airs every other day by 4:30 p.m. and on Rhythm FM just every Friday by 4:30 p.m. My name remains Lois, and my co-anchors have been Joseph and Agnes. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
This is Patris Radio.
Give us a call or chat us on WhatsApp on +234 8144 56 9000. Check out our website and interact with us on www.answerswithdrreju.com. Like our Facebook page, Answers with Dr. Reju, or send us an email at answerswithdrreju@gmail.com. On Twitter, we are at Dr. Reju Answers. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Answers with Dr. Reju, where you can get all our episodes. Join us again on Answers with Dr. Reju, where critical life issues are clarified.